Hi, I'm Rich with New Life Scientific, and today I'm showing off a really nice production lyophilizer. This is the Benchmark 3000. It's made for production, and as you can see, it is a clean room model, and it came out of a facility in San Diego that I personally actually went and de-installed it, and this thing was in pristine condition, and from what we can tell, it's only been used about a dozen times, and it sat mostly unused in the facility in a clean room environment. It had all the yearly calibrations done and all the service work continued on it, but just did not really get much production out of it. But this particular unit does not have stoppering, but it does have a lot of shelf space. We'll list that exact square footage when we get the listing up, but you can see just super pristine and clean. Has the stainless panels that would go in to fill in your opening and to seal it all off. And what's really nice about this, we actually got the chiller that was running it too. This is the Arctic Chill. This particular unit was mounted on the rooftop right above the machine, and so it had the plumbing coming straight down into it, and was just a straightforward. So this is essentially a turnkey system. We've actually got the flexible lines to hook up to it now. Everything is powered. We're going to actually run it here in a little bit. We're going to do a quick walk around on this unit and show off everything on it, but does have the light bulb vacuum pump right here, and then it does have the Carlisle cooling system, and this is a really nice refrigeration system because this particular compressor gives you those ultra low temperatures using just one refrigerant, and it's a standard R404A, and just a super nice system. And then when we walk on around here, we get to the back of the machine where this typically would be sitting inside of the utility space where you would do the service, and you can also open up the actual condenser here and see that there. Oops. But this does have the hot water defrost system where you pipe in hot water and then it sprays everything down with these spray nozzle jets. So you have 4 condensed areas where you'll build up your ice here, and then you bring in hot water, introduce it to do a really quick defrost on it here, and then of course the drain automatically opens up in the defrost mode and then just drains everything accordingly what you need there. So this is all again really pristine. Does have some service valves built into the refrigeration valves and gauges there for continually monitoring it. And we're just going to jump over to the chiller real quick here. Again, we've just got basically got it plumbed in with some flexible lines here going over to the system. This just needs a high voltage hookup. We got our high voltage 30 amp line coming in here. And then the real nice thing about running this is it's just a simple control box that you would mount down close to your actual machine so that you can actually just turn it on. It's just a simple turn on and off here. The parameters are already programmed in there, so this is set up for this particular machine, and we'll be turning this on in a little bit when we get it fired up. And I'm going to close this back up here, get it ready to go. And we do have an inspection port window there too. You can see a glass here. You can shine the light in there if you needed to. But everything is just industrial grade down here. The heat exchanger for the chiller right in here, just a massive industrial grade unit, just very well built. This does utilize silicon fluid, and you can see the tank level indicator up there is the silicon fluid. That's what runs through your shelf system and keeps your shelves consistently temperature controlled. That's monitored through the Lyos software here, and we'll take a look at the Lyos. And this is that kind of that synoptic view of the machine where you can see what's going on here. That way all these red indicators means everything is pretty much shut down right now. It does have the isolation valve, so that's really nice because you can do your pressure rise test for moisture levels to advance to the next system whenever you're doing your recipes. And if we go over to the recipe builder here in the freeze dry section, very nice way to set up your recipes. You can fill in the information you need here, and then again you have down here you have some of your pressurized tests. You can do your closure times and measure that rise again. And this also has the Pirani gauge, so that you can actually utilize that too for your moisture levels. Some people like that when you got your two pressure gauges that line up to identify the actual moisture content. So it has those tools built into the software. It makes it really nice to get that moisture levels really accurate before you move on to the final drying stages. But really nice software. Everything works great. I've ran the function test and I was super impressed with this compressor again. The lowest shelf temperature actually reached -93. That's super cold. And again, lowest condenser temperature was at -95 degrees Celsius. Some amazing temperatures from that Carlisle refrigeration pump or compressor. So everything is just working great on this thing. The leak test, we're actually going to do a leak test here and run it here in a little bit. Now we're going to just walk over and look at all the documentation to this. So all the original documentation that comes with the machine, even including the Arctic chiller, manual and installation operation, operator for the actual Benchmark 3000 here, and then it actually even has the system integration testing. And then over here it has the validation guide and workbook. So this is validation and OQ, IQ. So that's really important for pharmaceutical grade, especially for clean rooms. And then the factory acceptance test, and then the validation guide and workbook over here. And then a lot of extra parts, new seals, replacement seals. The original ones are still in great condition. Like I said, hasn't had hardly any use. Does have a rebuild kit for the vacuum pump, and just some of your main spares for things that can go bad. So you got them on hand. You can actually keep the machine up and going. You got some of those spare parts that possibly could go out. So like I said, just everything on this system. So we got the PLC unit inside this control cabinet. Again, we have a 60 amp high voltage line and breaker built into this that we've got it powered on here, and everything is essentially ready to go. It does have the battery backup for the PLC, and also the battery backup down here and printer for the software in the PC. And like this is the way we got it all in. They've kept it really nice. I was at this facility in San Diego that they shut down and we're liquidating, and we got this beautiful machine, and personally de-installed it myself and got it loaded and brought it back here to Ohio, and then went clear through it and ran our own testing, replaced some oil, did those maintenance things here. So we're going to walk around, we're going to turn the chiller on, we're going to close the door, and we're going to just get this thing started and let you listen to it run. It purrs like a kitten. Super impressed with it. We do not have any thermocouples on it right now to do any personal shelf testing, but everything is over there and for the end user to use. So just a real easy, quick latch system. And then, like I said, this would be mounted on the wall next to the system somewhere. This possibly could be outside. This can be on the rooftop like it was prior, but it's just a simple on button, and it turned the machine on, and you're going to hear the compressor kick on here, and you can hear it running. So this is like I said, just a super easy system. And then we're going to walk around and turn the machine on. There you can kind of hear the compressor kicked on the chiller over there, so it's a little noisier. It's actually a little noisier than this machine. So right now I'm just going to actually run this leak test here. So nothing else is running. We can actually pull down the cycle status. It says none active, so that's good. And as soon as we hit this, it's going to start running that leak test, and essentially it's going to get the condenser cold and then run the vacuum pump. So you'll be able to hear the compressor running on this also. So we're going to say yes, start the leak test. So we had the isolation valve, and we can move over to the synoptic view here. And you can see right here that this is green now. That means that the condenser is running. Or I'm sorry, the vacuum pump is actually doing a pre-seal right now. It's going to pull down to 500 torr, As you can see, as soon as it hits 500 torr, the vacuum pump will shut off, and now the compressors are running and it's pumping refrigeration into our condenser here through this valve. So now what's going to happen is our condenser temperatures are going to just start dropping down, and it should get down to about -40, 45, and then our vacuum pump again shall kick on and pull us down to our deeper vacuums. So you can see how instantaneous this thing just moves that needle really quick, and it's just a massive piece of equipment, and for that refrigeration system to kick on and just really start moving the needle, like I said, just a real industrial production machine that has very little use on it. I'm going to walk over here and go to the historical. Now it's just been sitting here just idle doing nothing, so you can see our temperature and right here especially, it's been running pretty, the condenser's been running pretty, it's a little cold we're actually out in the warehouse, so it's been a little cool here yet. So we're going to just scroll over here, and you can see how the condenser temperature is taking a big drop right now. It was running, you can see here, and I'll hover over here, but it's just a really nice software. You can navigate through a lot of stuff. You can print the screen here. Here you can do your calibrations. We actually can't do it while we're running a cycle, but and then we have the configurations here, system configurations, alarm settings. Everything's already preset here, so nothing really needs to be done. But yeah, you can see back here already at -17 degrees Celsius and dropping. Just a real workhorse, and it's just a big area to have to cool that condenser there, but like I said on our last function test, we were hitting some really cold temperatures with that compressor, so I was really impressed with it. But a lot of nice tools on this. You can see our isolation valve here is green, so it is shut off, and this is on here. This is our vacuum pump. This is our defrost valves. This is our drain valve. This is our valve for our circulating fluids here, and we got our circulation pump for our silicone fluids here, and we got our heater here for silicone fluids. So yeah, really nice software, and you can see it works great. Condenser temperature still dropping. So much to this machine, but we are here for any questions. I believe this thing is pretty much turnkey. I can actually assist in getting this thing installed also. So if you have any questions, give us a call here at New Life Scientific, and thank you for watching.